Hi guys, my name is Sarah Foster and this is my very first video blog for Brian Johnson's multimedia reporting class. Today I'm going to talk about the first assignment and my expectations and the reasons why I chose the photos. Really this assignment was very beneficial because it taught me how to operate the camera and learn about different camera techniques. So I do have the Canon PowerShot SX30 at home, so I felt kind of familiar with the camera, but this assignment really taught me how important it is to match your shutter speed with your f-stop, and it really taught me basically how to look at photography with a new angle, no pun intended, but it was very beneficial in teaching me how to build on my photography techniques, and I feel like I am a lot more confident in moving into the next assignments. So my first category was to shoot a wide-angle telephoto photo. So for my wide angle, I was actually on the South Quad, and I shot a picture of the stock pavilion, and I thought this was a really cool photo because the sidewalk kind of acted as a leading line toward the door, so it really drew your eyes in toward the main subject. I really liked this photo. I thought it was really cool, and the camera did a really nice job of making the colors seem very vivid even though it was cloudy outside. And then for my telephoto portion, I zoomed in on this glass window, and I thought this was a really cool photo because you could see the reflection of some of the trees that are on the South Quad, and you could see it in the glass. And I thought that was cool because it really is, it does bring a new angle to the South Quad. Typically, if you're observing the nature that's on the South Quad, you don't really look at it through the glass as a glass reflection. But yeah, these were probably my favorite categories out of all the 8 that I shot. So moving on to category 2 was stop action, blurred action. So for stop action, I held the camera in my right hand while I tossed up a basketball in my left hand. I caught my palm as it was stretched out, and then I caught the basketball as it was midair. So it almost looked like it was levitating. It was very strange, but I was pretty happy with it, except for the fact that it was kind of blue. There was like a blue tint, and I tried to edit it out, but it didn't really work as well without appearing grainy. So moving forward in the class, I'd really like to know more about creating effective stop-action photos that really don't sacrifice the quality of the image. So for blurred action, I stood outside. It was right after dusk, so it was pretty dark, but I took a panning photo. I followed a car as it moved down Chalmers Street. So in the background, the lights from the tall buildings were blurry, but the car was in focus. And I thought that was really cool. Even though people normally think of taking photos of cars as their blurred action shots, I thought it was cool. I thought the panning technique was a unique spin on the common shot. So that's why I chose to put that on there. But then I also attached a blurred image of the car, so the background was clear and crisp and focused, while the car was blurry. You could see the motion there. So moving on from my color, I have a very colorful wardrobe. I like a lot of patterns, but I never really noticed it until this photo shoot, which is very strange. But I had a pile of clothes laying beside my bed, and so I got up really close and tried to I tried to fit all of the clothes as much as I could, and that was my color shot. And then for my no color shot, I was in the Aces Funk library, and I saw a bunch of books clustered together that were all blue. So I tried to shoot that from a unique angle. I tried to get a certain part of the books in focus while a certain other part wasn't. I tried to be creative with that, so that's why I chose that photo. So for my high angle, low angle, Aces was perfect for this because it kind of has an atrium on the second floor, and then it spirals up. So it's like a winding staircase, and I thought that was really cool. So for my high angle, I went to the 4th floor, which is the very top of the spiral, and I shot looking down. I was pretty happy with that because it was cool how you could see all of the lines and just the shape of the building on the inside. And then for my low angle, I went to the very bottom of the building on the ground floor and shot up, where you could see the dome of the building, and you could also see the winding staircase. So I thought that was really cool. I really liked it. So for my hard shadows and soft shadows, hard shadows was pretty easy for me because I'm such a big coffee drinker. I went to espresso and noticed that as my coffee was sitting on the table, it was reflecting a really hard shadow, so that's what I did for that. I liked that shot because it almost looked like it had a glow. It was very cool, I thought. And so it really got me paying attention to the way lights affect subjects in photos, and I thought that was very cool. But for my soft shadow, I searched a lot for how to capture this, and I liked how the statue in the main library kind of reflected um, how the light was bending off the statue. You could see shadows in the armpits, or you could see shadows on the face, on the chin of the statue. So I thought that was kind of cool. And it was very challenging, I think, because I kept getting hard shadows and soft shadows mixed up. So a lot of the images that I originally shot were hard shadow images. And so I had to keep going out again and again to find the soft shadow. And I thought this was a good soft shadow because it almost looked like as if it was part of the statue, part of the shading of it. So it was very discreet, and I really liked that. But in the future, moving forward, I would really like to get better at detecting different types of shadows and so on. So for my close-up, I have flowers in my apartment right beside my bed, and I shot a close-up of the flowers, and then I tried to get kind of a rule of thirds with the flowers on the close-up, and then the super close-up I zoomed, well I didn't zoom in, but I moved my camera closer to a flower so I could get one of it in focus, and I did use the macro setting, and it was very cool. I really liked these photos as well. So for my morning, noon, and night photos, I went to the corners of Daniel and Wright Street, and I thought this was a really cool place to shoot these because it's kind of a hub of campus. There's a lot of activity there typically, and honestly, it was just out of my own curiosity. I wondered how, if there were more students in the morning or more in the evening, like when was the most popular time of day, and I did find that it was pretty happening all throughout the day and into the night. So I stood right there and on the corner, and I shot the photos in the morning and then the noon and the night. And I made sure to wait for buses to come by so they kind of looked parallel. And I thought the noon photo was really interesting because you could see the way that the sun was casting a shadow on these on the light poles, and I thought that was really cool. But I had a little bit of trouble of standing in the exact same spot. I was in the general vicinity, but I wasn't in the exact spot. So I tried to crop it, but I think you can kind of tell, but other than that, I was pretty happy with it. And then for my video with tripod and my video without tripod, I stood kind of on the outskirts of the South Quad, and I filmed my video there, and I really liked it because it was kind of a happening area. It was right when classes got out, so there were a lot of students walking to and from. In my video without the tripod, there was actually an ambulance that had just gone by, so you could hear that in the background. You could get a feel for the activity of campus. So I really liked shooting those, and it was really interesting to see how much the tripod does help your video footage. So in the future, I would really like to improve on my action and my blurred action shots. I think I thought the shots were cool, but I would like to get better at making sure that the picture quality isn't sacrificed for my action shots, and then actually making sure that the photos don't look grainy when it's getting darker out for the blurred action shots. I would also like to get better at detecting soft shadows and hard shadows. Other than that, I'm very excited to move forward with this class. I've always wanted to diversify my skill sets, and um, I think this will be a very helpful tool to add to my toolbox. So I'm Sarah Foster, and that concludes my first video blog for multimedia reporting. Thank you.